isolated to just Assam, and I'm going to show you why I'm saying that. Now, I have a map of the country here on my screen where I've superimposed every state where the Congress party actually has a problem. Since we started with Assam, let me reiterate. Senior leader Bhupen Borah, that's him. He's resigned, citing dissatisfaction, leadership rift between Bhupen Borah and Gaurav Gogoi, who is the face of the Assam Congress. He's just switched over to the BJP. He addressed a press conference with Himachal Pradesh and will be joining in a few days from now. From Assam, come down to Tamil Nadu, also a poll-bound state. Stalin says no scope for power sharing with the Congress party. Congress workers are demanding power sharing and alliance. Things have gotten so bitter that even the Congress versus Congress battles have erupted in this southern state. Come to the neighbouring state of Kerala, also a poll-bound state. Manishankar Iyer has backed Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan for another term. That lit a huge fire because he said they hate each other more than the communists. He has put a spotlight on what he says is rampant infighting between all the leading lights of the Kerala Congress. Then you come to West Bengal, not that the Congress has much of a chance there, but no alliance with Mamata in 2026 West Bengal polls is even more emphatic this time because the Trinamool has pitched Mamata as the leader of the India alliance. The insinuation is, Rahul Gandhi, you've had your chance, you're an abject failure, please make way for Mamata Didi. Look at even Punjab, not a poll-bound state, but there you've got Navjot Kaur Sidhu, Navjot Singh Sidhu's wife, who quit some time ago for disciplinary issues, now openly slamming the Congress party, openly slamming Rahul Gandhi and praising Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Then come to Karnataka, which is a state that the Congress has ruled since 2023. The Chief Minister tussle, the Game of Thrones, is something you all know very well between Chief Minister Siddaramaiah and DK Shivakumar. The 2.5-year formula fight refuses to die down. Even now you have DK Shivakumar flaunt the number of MLAs he has supporting him, leading to most people wondering, especially in the public, what's going on? Are they really united or are they still warring for that chair? Go up to Himachal Pradesh in the north once again. Vikramaditya Singh nearly walked out due to being sidelined by the sitting chief minister. The Congress lost one Rajya Sabha seat to the BJP due to cross-voting in Himachal Pradesh. A huge embarrassment for the party. Come down once again to Telangana. Again, a strong Congress-ruled state. Former Minister T. Jeevan Reddy is questioning BRS imports into the Congress party. The former minister says Congress loyalists are being sidelined and there is a tussle going on him and Revant Reddy. Gujarat, another state where the Congress is strong. March 2025, Rahul Gandhi had said half of Gujarat Congress is working for the BJP. Absolutely incredible thing to say. Neighbouring Maharashtra, veteran Prithviraj Sawan surprised by the new Maharashtra Congress chief pick and says so in public. The new Maharashtra Congress in the Tipu Shivaji Congress. So this is what the India map looks like right now. The 4 states that are all poll-bound states. I would have also mentioned Puducherry, but that would have been getting into too many micro details. The other states are large states which had something worth mentioning. But believe you me when I say that in each and every one of these states, it is possible to infighting, displeasure, disunity, crisis of some kind or the other. I don't even need to mention Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan because that is pretty much obvious for everyone. Let's debate because the big breaking story tonight is what has happened in the Congress party in Assam with their recently changed Congress state president shifting over to the BJP. But like Manishankar Iyer has insinuated, this is a malaise that afflicts the Congress nationwide and especially in the poll-bound states. Let's debate tonight on the buck stops here. Sanju Verma, national spokesperson of the BJP. Tushar Gupta, political analyst. Dr. Akriti Bhatia, political analyst, supports the Congress party. But I'd like to start with Rashid Kidwai, senior journalist. Before I go to the analysts and the politicians, Rashid, the departure of Bhupen Borah from the Congress party to the BJP, you know, a symbol of unity with Himanta Biswa Sarma. Obviously, in terms of optics, it's terrible. But in terms of the election, how bad is this for the Congress?
Well, Shiv, I think it is only the outcome that will determine that how effective was this. But we must understand in every election, before election, it comes a season of migratory birds. Migratory birds move and they move with a lot of intensity. In this case, in case of Assam, I think we're going to see a lot more action. But here is an incumbent chief minister who is very hands-on and who knows, a thing or two about politics, having been schooled in the, so to say, in the Congress culture. And he has, there's a big lineup. I have some names also, big lineup and mainly Congress. So the Congress is a target, and people are going to defect to the BJP, to AGP, to newer, smaller groups. And Shiv, you will find it sort of bit of paradoxical. A number of Muslim leaders are going to defect from the Congress in time to come. This is, this is to create, set, cat among pigeons. This is a sort of, as you said, it's about optics, and this is Hemanta's way of deflecting from, the real core issues, the anti-incumbency factor, and everything. It's also a very poor and sad reflection of the Congress political management. If I knew that, Mr. Borah and several others are going to move and shift, and they were hand in glove with this, they were having, talks and, tactical understanding and the kind of, lure of office and perks, what all goes on in the applied side of politics. It was all happening for last year. What were Congress managers doing?
Okay.
What was Bhupen Jitendra Singh doing?
Yeah.
And if they were so sure-footed that Mr. Borah is going, why was there no kind of preemptive?
No, and also there was apparently a phone call. There was a reported phone call from Rahul Gandhi yesterday. There was some suspense, and then now that exit has actually happened. Sanju, I want to come to you. You can respond to what Rashid says. First round of questions on the breaking story tonight of Bhupen Borah's exit from the Congress and joining the BJP. Sanju, to you first.
Shiv, I just want to say one thing. There is a quote by Narayan Murthy today where he says, growth is painful, change is equally painful, but nothing is as painful as staying stuck in a place where you do not belong. The fact of the matter is simple. Tumse na ho paega is what the Congress karyakartas are telling Rahul Gandhi in as many words. He's inaccessible. There is no common ideology which binds the top brass to the Congress worker on the ground. And most importantly, I think Congress has made a habit of snatching loss from the jaws of victory. Imagine, Kerala, where the chances are bright, as you rightly said in your introduction. One is fighting against the other. In the south, it is D.K. Shivkumar versus Siddaramaiah versus K.C. Venugopal versus Manikam Tagore versus V.D. Satishan versus Praveen Chakravarti versus Ramesh Chenitalla, so on and so forth. In Himachal Pradesh, it has always been Pratibha Singh versus Sukhwinder Singh Sukhu. And in Maharashtra, it couldn't have gotten any worse. You have Prithviraj Chauhan versus Varsha Gaikwad versus Aslam Sheikh versus Nana Patole versus Bhai Jagtap. And in Punjab, which is going into polls next year, where till a couple of months back, people thought chances of the Congress party are high. Look at the situation. It is Pratap Singh Bajwa versus Amrinder Singh Raja warring. So my limited point is this. For everybody out there from the Darbari ecosystem who says, "Arey ambition hoti hai politics mein, mahatvakanksha hoti hai," so it is natural to see friction. Yes, it is natural to see friction. It is natural to have disagreements. Even in a corporate outfit with just 100 members, you will see everybody wanting to be the senior vice president.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to remain a junior executive. But my limited point is, Rahul Gandhi refuses to wake up and smell the coffee. And I think that is where the problem is. Because Shiv, without being verbose, I'll end by saying one thing. I think the biggest quality of a leader is to stand shoulder to shoulder with your people, not when they win, but more importantly, when they lose. After that debilitating loss in Bihar, Rahul Gandhi jetted off to Muscat, whereas people thought after getting only 6 out of the 61 seats that they contested, they would have actually seen their leader hand-holding them. But there was no hand-holding.
Sanju, I'm going to come to... I'll come to Rahul Gandhi in just a moment. I just want to open it up a little bit about, the story in Assam being a story that kind of reflects what's happening everywhere. And Rashid, Sanju is right. This goes beyond optics. She's listed some of them. I've listed many of the others as well. There is, something is wrong. This is not just about optics.
Yeah, so I think it is fair on the part of Sanju Verma to criticize Congress. Congress needs to be criticized, but you must also see in Kerala the Congress had a kind of unity. So Mr. Shashi Tharoor was on the verge of exit, and he came back and he became part of so to say the Congress ecosystem which is fighting elections. Mr. Manishankar here has no roots in Kerala. He's
I
from
agree.
Tamil Nadu. And in Tamil Nadu, he's also a persona non grata, politically speaking. So, therefore, while we should criticize the Congress by all means, we should also think that where they're getting their house in order. And secondly, what do you do if for somebody, as Sitaram Kesi used to say, कि किसी के हृदय में कमल का फूल खिल गया है, then what do you do? Now he's saying that he has problem with Gogai's Pakistani past and all. When did he discover? He was Congress president till May 2025. Shiv, you cannot be gloating over defections. Defection is a curse, whichever political party it happens. It's not because of the Congress that I'm saying.
No, I take your point.
Antithesis of parliamentary democracy. We must understand. In Britain, in America, in many vibrant democracies, defection is unheard of. This is a very Hindustani culture.
I take your point, Rashid, I take it respectfully, but my point is a little different. My point is that, looking at one or two defections, can be understood, it can be analyzed. But for these things to be happening right before big elections, coincidentally in those states, seems to confirm what the worst critics of the Congress always say. I know you are right about what you're saying. Defections are terrible. They are uniquely an Indian, sort of phenomenon. But that shouldn't divert from what is wrong with the Congress, which you also acknowledge. So, Sanju, quick word, then I want to get in Tushar and Akriti.
Rashid is a very erudite political analyst with his leanings towards Congress, which is well known. So good luck to him. But I just want to say, for every Shashi Tharoor who has dissented and is yet within the Congress party ship, there is a Himanta Biswa Sarma, there is an RPN Singh, there is a Captain Amrinder Singh, there is a Sunil Jhakar, there is a Jitin Prasada, there is a Gaurav Vallabh, there is an Ashok Chavan. The list is endless. There is an Arjun Vodwadia. For the longest time, he was MLA from Porbandar in Gujarat and was the leader of opposition in Gujarat, representing the Congress party. And guess what? Today, he is in the Bhupendra Bhai Patel cabinet in Gujarat as the Minister for Science and Technology. Because Arjun Vodwadia said the same thing which Hardik Patel said after quitting the Congress. He said, Congress party का तो ये हाल है, 300 किलोमीटर जाएंगे राहुल गांधी के लिए चिकन सैंडविच खरीदने. उनके लिए राहुल गांधी के पास वक्त है, पर जो कार्यकर्ता जमीन पर काम करता है, राहुल गांधी के पास उनके लिए वक्त नहीं है.
Okay.
He refuses to meet.
Let me explore that point. Sanju, in a little more detail. Akriti, I stopped Sanju earlier when she mentioned Rahul Gandhi because I wanted to come to that finally, because ultimately the conversation has to involve Rahul Gandhi. These are not some disparate, problems that the Congress is facing. He is the man with whom the buck stops. He called Bhupen Borah yesterday, apparently, which led to a temporary change of heart. But at the end of the day, net, when you boil away all the water, Rahul Gandhi is the person who's unable to stop the Congress from lurching from one crisis to the other. That also has to be acknowledged, Akriti. You're on mute, Akriti.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Yes. Shiv, I do acknowledge that the Congress party is facing a lot of crises of different kinds, but it's not collapse. Just as Rashidji was saying that defection is not healthy in a parliamentary democracy, dissent is very healthy in a parliamentary democracy, and in a space where coalition and multi-party systems have to sustain. There will be different interests, there will be different issues that will definitely have these kinds of differences. And as far as being able to bring them all together, that's something that the leadership must be able to do. And we see that there are a couple of issues happening there. We don't know what kind of incentives are basically, these leaders are driven with, and what is it that motivation has to happen. But saying that Rahul Gandhi is not trying, or they're not being able to put together people, I think is little far-fetched. there are multiple examples of infighting. I have covered election on the ground, and I know that at MLA level, at panchayat level, there is infighting that takes place. It's just that these are being blown out of proportion when you look at the Congress party. And there are a lot of issues. If you look at the BJP, the leadership there, the state leaderships, they're not as strong. And that's a problem, because
but Akriti, it doesn't seem to.
is not. It's a very, very. I
No,
don't want to
Akriti,
use
but
the
you're
term
you're making a very
authoritarian.
you're making a very theoretical false equivalence. The BJP is not losing elections as a result of it, Tushar.
Yes.
The BJP, of course, has differences. There are people, I'm sure, who disagree and fight. I'm sure Sanju argues and fights with people in the BJP as well. But either they do a very good job of masking it and not allowing dirty linen to be washed in public, or it is not big enough for it to, affect actual electioneering. Tushar, I don't know. Am I wrong here?
No, absolutely not, Shiv. You're absolutely right. Political parties are made up of humans, not robots. There are going to be differences. But as long as those differences do not reflect on the performance of the party, everything is good. That is what matters at the end of the day, how the party is performing. But Shiv, the patterns are quite visible. Every election, it's the same pattern. A young leader and a former leader is in, quarrel with each other. We saw it in Rajasthan. 2020 in Madhya Pradesh, 2020 in Punjab, Congress snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. How do you explain what happened in Karnataka 2024? You come together with an alliance
23.
and then again you lose it before the 2024 Lok Sabha elections, when you lose Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan. So with the Congress, the patterns are quite clear. Haryana, after a stunning, victory, what the Congress defined it in 2024 Lok Sabha, you were the favorites in Haryana. What happens? The Hudas and Shailja Kumari are not getting along each other and you lose Haryana.
Yeah.
In Maharashtra, you're a far distant third fiddle as a party. So the patterns are quite visible, Shiv. One, that the high command, it's not able to take decisions. The political succession in the states, the high command is not able to manage that. Number two, you said it in your introduction that Rahul Gandhi's call couldn't even convince Bhupen Borah. So if Rahul Gandhi cannot convince his state chiefs to stay in the party, who really can?
Yeah.
Number three, Rahul Gandhi is also not giving his party any vision. You see how he jumps from issue to issue. A couple of months back, it was vote chori. A couple of weeks back, it was General Naravne's book. He just jumps from one issue to the other without giving his karyakartas. Before the voters, the karyakartas any clarity.
I'm glad you mentioned high command, because that is something that Rashid Bhai is a PhD in. He's written endless columns about the high command. So Rashid, I want to ask you then, does this ultimately boil down to the high command? It doesn't brandish the same kind of strength anymore, to keep all the ducks in a row. Whether it is BK Hari Prasad versus DK Shivakumar, I mean, these are preposterous senior level arguments happening in public. And that's just one example.
I think, Shiv, we are missing the plot. We must understand that these kind of defections, the engineered defections, are used as a political strategy. It's an orchestrated thing. That is why I'm saying there is a design behind it. It was, premeditated, and people knew, in last 2-3 months before that this is what is exactly going to happen. And as I'm saying, half a dozen more Congress leaders are going to go in, a week's time or so, or 10 days time. So this is a build-up. This is not, Shiv, there are, 18 political parties in India, small and big, which are an offshoot of Congress party. Look at Mamata Banerjee, look at, Jagan Mohan Reddy, look at Sharad Pawar, look at, even BRS, TDP, they all, left the Congress and joined former political parties. So people do that. That's a manly thing to do.
Okay.
Now, not this kind of defection which is happened for a consideration and the eve of election. I'm not trying to, sound Puritan. What I'm saying is we must look at this. Why is Himanta doing this?
I understand what you're saying, but I have to take.
What is the ideological? No, please let me complete. What is the ideological compatibility that he has with the former Congress president?
Fair question.
The Congress and BJP from the same ideological thinking.
Yeah, Himanta himself
Now,
is
150,
of course from the Congress
150 leaders have documented who have joined the BJP.
Yeah,
150.
No.
Okay, that's a fair question.
Let Sanju answer that, since she's from the BJP. Sanju, Rashid says, let's not underestimate the dirty tricks department. He didn't use that phrase, but the dirty tricks department of the BJP engineering many of the things that you're seeing right now and pinning that on Congress incompetence.
Shiv, There is this famous quote by Albert Einstein, the man who gave us theory of relativity. He says, it is insane to be making the same mistake again and again and again and expecting a different result each time. And I think that beautifully applies to Rahul Gandhi and the Darbari ecosystem led by the Congress party. There is no change in strategy. There are no lessons learned. There is no Atma Chintan. There is no Atma Manthan. There is no introspection. They had a great victory in Karnataka. They had a great victory in Telangana. Prior to that, they had a great victory in Himachal Pradesh. The moment they got those 99 seats in Lok Sabha 2024, they started clapping. Imagine, Indira Gandhi's lowest score in 1977 was 154. And Rahul Gandhi's best score for his party is 99, and he is still applauding his victory. That shows how different the two leaders are, his grandmother and him. But this is not about comparing the Congress lineage. I will just say one thing. You know, कहावत है जो जीता वही सिकंदर राजनीति में. You can say, अरे बीजेपी में भी तो ऐसा होता है. Yogi is having problems with X. X is having problems with Y. But don't forget, the entire cabinet of Gujarat was changed 9 months ahead of elections. Vijay Rupani was removed and Bhupendra Bhai Patel was gotten. And everybody said, इस बार तो बीजेपी गई गुजरात में, but Bhupendra Bhai Patel won. And my another example is this. Nobody had heard of Pushkar Singh Dhami.
I'm coming to you, Akriti. Let her finish. I'm coming to you. We have enough time, don't worry.
Pushkar Singh Dhami won elections for the BJP, leading Uttarakhand to its first victory consecutively in 19 years. Nobody asked any questions because they realized कि lotus, the symbol is so relevant that who stands for that symbol is less relevant. Whereas in the Congress party, हाथ का अभी कोई वजूद नहीं है. हाथ का कोई वजूद नहीं है. लोगों ने कहा टाटा बाय बाय.
Sanju, point.
कह दिया टाटा बाय बाय.
Sanju, point taken, but by invoking Rahul Gandhi in all of her answers in a lighter vein, she has taken the name of this show to heart. The buck stops here, and it does stop with Rahul Gandhi. So I don't blame her for invoking Rahul Gandhi each time. But Akriti, you wanted to come in. You want to reply to Sanju? You're disagreeing.
Yes, that's exactly what we're trying to say, that the style of the BJP is extremely centralized with very little attention given to the leaders, the disagreements and the way elections are fought. That's really like it's borderline authoritarian in the sense that you don't have the dissent part taken into account. There are real.
But nobody seems to have a problem with that in the BJP, Akriti. I don't want to interrupt you. You can have your say. I won't interrupt you again. You can have your say. But I'm saying nobody seems to have a problem with it because elections are being won. Nobody cares about that.
Shiv, the voices are suppressed in a very subtle manner, and you don't get to know. The spokesperson just mentioned that for sandwiches they are going for 300 kilometers. Please, let's not get into all that, where the mushrooms are coming from and all of that, for the PM. It's really, this is not the kind of discourse that we are talking about right here. There's the kind of culture that
coming to you, Tushar. Let her finish.
It's really something that we need to, look out here. And by talking about.
One sec, let Tushar come in. I'll come to you, Sanju. We have time. Tushar. How personal politics has become since the both of you touched upon it. We all saw, just now.
Saying, let's not get there.
Just now in Parliament, we saw how personal things can get. And I was the first one to highlight what a waste and a washout it has been. Tushar, yes. Tushar, yes. Add to it on the topic.
My friend Rashid is here, so I want to tell him, one exit is a defection, 2 is probably deliberation, but 3 is a declaration. Something is clearly wrong with the party, and it's been going on before every state election for years now, not even a couple of elections. We could say that these defections are engineered if they happen once or twice, but they have been happening, more than thrice, far more than thrice, and it's happening with the allies also. You look at how Samajwadi Party was treated in Madhya Pradesh, you see how the seat sharing worked out in Bihar. And coming to the question of high command, because Akriti raised the point of the BJP being authoritarian, Himachal, Haryana, Punjab, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Karnataka, every conflict within the Congress state leadership was decided at Tan Janpad. So how can we not, acknowledge the fact that somewhere the latency within Rahul Gandhi's leadership is also a problem for the party?
Okay.
Number 3, you tell me, Shiv, what is the ideology of Rahul Gandhi today? If the Karyakarta of a Congress wants to define Rahul Gandhi's ideology, where is the ideology? Because every second day the issue changes. How to define Rahul Gandhi's ideology? If he's approaching the state assembly election, what is really define Rahul Gandhi's politics? That is the problem.
Akriti, I'll come to you. No crosstalk. Otherwise, nobody will be able to hear both of you. I'll come to both of you. But Tushar raised a point.
I want to give you an example. Before Bihar, you had a complete yatra around the state that we want to advocate the vote chori problem. We want to talk to the voters. And it ended up being a trip where Rahul Gandhi was sitting in the bus and the bus was just crossing through districts. And when the results came,
also a motorcycle.
Congress was wiped out in those districts. Wiped out. So at the end of the day, the connect between Rahul Gandhi and the voters is simply not there. You can blame everything else.
Your point is taken.
Your
point is taken, but this is it is relevant to what we're talking about. But I still want to talk about what the reasons for this are. Rashid, coming back to you, picking up on what Tushar has said. This is not one or two instances. It's happening all around. I'm not asking a rhetorical or a loaded question. I am seriously asking, how does the High Command view all these crises? How does do they believe they have any strength to stop them or preempt them or resolve them? Do all these warring factions no longer listen to the High Command's writ? Is that what is going on?
Shiv, I think that's a very pertinent question, and the Congress needs to really, not just introspect and all, but act upon, because there is no crisis management system. For instance, as a journalist, if I know that there are many people who have been in, talks with the BJP, with Hemanta and all, and they're going to defect and somebody else defected, there was no mechanism. And that is where I think the role of, more than Rahul Gandhi, the role of General Secretary being Bhupen Jitendra Singh comes into play. What was he doing all along when he knew that this is exactly what is going to happen? And many people in Assam knew. See, Tushar and both Sanju, they're thinking individuals, they have political mind, they're not answering or responding to the question. It is orchestrated, let us admit that. It is to deflect and draw, change the sort of, attention from the real issues of the Assam is going to face and the anti-incumbency. As I said, the outcome will determine everything. And the second more important thing that, Congress has gone through a lot of, a difficult time. And every time there was, people, they left when they had disagreement with Indira Gandhi or Rajiv Gandhi or Narasimha Rao. They formed regional political parties. There was Mamata Banerjee formed party, the Bangarappa formed party, Scindia formed party. So many people have formed at various stages of life. Why is that? And Shiv, I want to leave you with this thought. Why is that from 2014 back to back, 3 actually defeat, 14, 19, 24, no split in the Congress. And the Congress is bleeding white, because after every 6 months, a year, time of election, state assembly election, some one or the other important leader. Is it not orchestrated? 150 leaders.
Rashid is sticking with his charge that this is all orchestrated.
And there is no response from
engineered by the BJP, so don't read too much into it. Yes, Sanju, coming to you, Tushar, coming to you. Let me go in order so everyone gets a chance.
I have tremendous respect for Rashid. At least he does not masquerade as a political analyst. There are many people who are Congress bhakts, but they sit on TV debates as political analysts. At least Rashid is honest to say he's a journalist.
No personal comments. Come on, Sanju.
Okay. Now let me come. Shiv, let me finish. The limited point is this, Rashid. Do not get into the kitchen if you can't stand the heat. If Rahul Gandhi is unsuitable for the hurly-burly of Indian political landscape, he should quit. Point number 1. Point number 2, which Shiv also mentioned at the start of his introduction. Inflation, government, Modi government was willing to discuss Rahul Gandhi MIA. Adani Modi government was willing to discuss MIA. Unemployment, Manipur, Pegasus, CAA, Waqf, Article 370 abrogation, SIR, vote chori ka mudda, Galwan, Doklam. Every issue Modi government said we will discuss. But Rahul Gandhi, what did he do? He did 9 do 11. Shoot and scoot politics is the hallmark of Rahul Gandhi. But I will only say this. In politics, you are as good as your last victory. Prime Minister Narendra Modi was the first elected Prime Minister in 62 years to take charge as Prime Minister for the third time running, Shiv, in 2024.
Okay.
He
Point
is
made.
relentless. He is relentless. He is tireless. And as JP Nadda said, my last point, JP Nadda once while addressing our media spokespersons told us, आज बीजेपी एक ही पैन नेशनल पैन इंडिया पार्टी है. कांग्रेस के पास ना नीति है, ना नियत है, ना नेतृत्व है.
Okay. Tushar wanted to add to your reply to
भानुमति ने कुनबा जोड़ा.
Tushar wanted to reply to Rashid.
No,
Go ahead.
Mr. Rashid Kidwai keeps making the point about Congress during Indira Gandhi or Rajiv Gandhi. Let's be honest, the kind of political capital Rajiv Gandhi and Indira Gandhi had, Rahul Gandhi doesn't dictate that. Number two, about Assam. The anti-incumbency is against the BJP. The momentum to some extent would be with Gaurav Gogoi because of the transition the state has seen, the kind of issues that are coming up. And yet the state chief is not convinced by Rahul Gandhi. Number three, after 2024, the momentum was with Rahul Gandhi, Haryana election, Maharashtra, Delhi. Shiv, I can vouch for the fact that the campaigning for Delhi election began right after 2024 because they were anticipating a victory.
Of course it
But somewhere, the resonance, and I keep saying this after every election, you raised the point about Mamata Banerjee leading the alliance. You remember in October 2021, we were having the exact same debate that should Mamata Banerjee lead the alliance, and 5 years later,
Same thing.
back to
No, you're right.
So somewhere the resonance between the voters and Rahul Gandhi, even after 20 years of him being in active politics, it's just not there.
This is a very correct point that Tushar is saying on a larger theoretical level. I'm not even talking just about parties. And the point I want to make, and Akriti, I will come to you, is that Sanju mentioned when I talked about all parties have netas with ambitions who fight. Take, for example, the 2024 election, where there were media reports that there were misgivings over election strategy between Yogi Adityanath and Home Minister Amit Shah. Journalists are scared to say this out loud. I am not scared. I will say it out loud. Okay, there were misgivings. What did the BJP do? The BJP went to work while the Congress and the other parties were celebrating and confetti was being thrown. The BJP went to work, as Tushar pointed out. They probably started strategizing for Haryana and for all the other states and for Delhi. And look what happened. There are problems in every party. The question here is, it's been 12 years since the Congress lost power at the center, and they don't seem to be able to solve those problems. Akriti, that is the problem.
Yes, so the only thing that I'm trying to say has already been said indirectly by Tusharji and Sanjuji as well, where Tushar said that, there are these patterns, right? These patterns are showing that there are systemic tendencies in this whole thing where the kind of role, the richest party in the world, one of the richest, the BJP is saying, there are many countries where elections happen, but they've lost their true meaning, and we don't want to get there. As Indians, I think we all need to be very cautious when real allegations regarding the institutional integrity or the election systems are happening. I think we all need to take that seriously, and I am not here.
No, but this is also what Rahul...
Because of the Congress party, there are a lot of gaps.
Hold on.
When it comes to the cadre, the organizational structure building, and the pipeline for communication.
But Akriti, this is pretty much what Rahul...
BJP has.
What you
Look
have...
at the resources, the kind of resources that they have. Whether they have to buy votes or netas.
Okay, Tushar wants to rebut Akriti. Go ahead.
BJP, I need to respond.
I'll come to you. I'll come to you right at the end. Yes, Tushar.
And last
is probably
point,
misrepresenting my
about
words.
the ideology. I think it's very clear.
That even
about
after years,
institutional integrity, about equality in India.
No.
Okay.
No,
point made, Akriti. Let Tushar respond.
No. I think I was being misquoted by Akriti when she said there are some systemic issues. No. I am saying that election after election, even when the anti-incumbency is against the BJP, the momentum is with the Congress. Why are their leaders leaving Rahul Gandhi's leadership? That itself sends a message. Let's go back to March 2020. Scindia, you remember that photo he had put out between Kamal Nath and Scindia and the Leo Tolstoy quote? And what happened months later? The government falls in Madhya Pradesh. What happened in Rajasthan? Sachin Pilot and Ashok Gehlot are loggerheads. Captain Amrinder Singh versus Navjot Singh Sidhu and ended up with Charanjit Singh Chunni. Then you see it in Madhya Pradesh also. You see it in Rajasthan, Himachal, everywhere. My point is that Rahul Gandhi is not able to steer the ship correctly.
Points in public, and there's disagreement which might or might not find consensus. So that's
Ma'am, the voters need to find that resonance. It's not about
this is something I've said in the past as well.
Between the party and the voters.
This is something I've said in the past as well. A disproportionate, Sanju, coming to you, and then I'll end with Rashid. I'm just to close the loop on what Tushar and Akriti were saying. A disproportionate level of resources within the Congress party are spent on branding and relaunching and reshaping and redefining Rahul Gandhi, rather than what should be instincts for organization building and organizational repair. This is a party that does not have a grassroots presence in many places. But yes, Sanju, quick last word, then I'll end with Rashid.
Shiv, when I was doing my MBA, we were taught a very important lesson. The biggest disservice you can do to a failed product is not to take it off the shelf. And that is precisely the problem with the Congress party. Rahul Gandhi is a failed product, but his repeated resurrections and relaunches is what the Congress party is beholden to.
Okay.
But I will just end by saying one thing. Shiv, please, today you've been a bit unfair to BJP.
No, never unfair to anyone. You know me. I'm the Iklota anchor of mainstream media who gives time to everyone. Nobody can charge me on that.
Shiv,
yes.
Shiv, just 10 seconds more.
Please.
10 seconds more.
Please.
I just want to say this. People who question EVMs, people who question India's electoral process, in the last so many decades, the Congress party or its allies won 14 out of the 17 elections held in Amethi with a strike rate of 82%. Koi BJP neta ne rona dhona nahi kiya. The Congress party won 17 out of 19 elections in Rai Bareli.
Okay.
The BJP lost.
Then
We never tried.
Investigate them and show evidences.
Okay.
Rona dhona band karo.
Okay. I'm going to end. Who I started.
Rona band kariye.
Okay. I'm going to end with who I started with, that is Rashid. Rashid, no more analysis, no more opinions. I'm asking you straight. The infighting that's happening in poll-bound Tamil Nadu right now, is there going to be some divorce, or is this all just smoke and mirrors between the DMK and the Congress party?
Well, I don't know, but I think to conclude this debate, you must understand the timing of it. Tomorrow, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra was going to Assam. It was to be her, first big show in the poll-bound state. And Mr. Himanta Biswa Sarma has been able to rattle the Congress. So this is a limited point that is there. Every politician has a right to learn and live, and Mr. Bhupen Borah is within his rights to do so. But the timing is very intriguing, and as I said, it's very, it's orchestrated.
Okay, I'm going to leave it there. I asked you about DMK and Congress. You didn't answer that, but I promised to bring you all back on a separate show to talk about that, because that fight doesn't seem to be in any position to end anytime soon. There's DMK versus Congress, there is Congress versus Congress, and the BJP, very much like Sanju's smile tonight, is watching from the sidelines and saying, let this entire cauldron simply burn and bubble. We'll watch. We'll watch and see what happens in Tamil Nadu. Oh, okay, I'm out of time. Thank you very much, Sanju, Rashid, Tushar, and Akriti, for being with me here tonight on The Buck Stops Here. Very quick break. Much more coming up on the other side. Stay with us.
Made in India क्यों नहीं? हमारे पास क्या है? Mustard oil. It is our flagship oil.
और हमें गर्व है कि 1933 से हम पी मार्क कच्ची घानी मस्टर्ड ऑयल का उत्पादन कर रहे हैं। इस मूल्यवान स्वदेशी प्रोडक्ट को बनाने में हमने खुद को समर्पित किया है पीढ़ियों से।
माँ भी हमेशा पी मार्क मस्टर्ड ऑयल में ही खाना बनाती थी।
कुछ तो बात है इस दिल में। P Mark, the mustard specialist since 1933. सरसों से सरसों।
As a leading voice in open technology, she is shaping how AI remains transparent, trusted, and accountable. Meet Amanda Brock at the NDTV In.AI Summit, 18th February, on the NDTV network, in partnership with Startup Policy Forum.
From 1983 to now, I have seen cricket evolve, but the mindset to win never changed. I tell you that what win matches and what doesn't? This T20 World Cup. Let's talk cricket, controversies, and more on NDTV.
Across the fault lines of AI and geopolitics, he is shaping how the world responds to its most transformative force. Meet Chris Lehan at the NDTV In.AI Summit on the NDTV network in partnership with Startup Policy Forum. Across innovation, economy and ethics, he is shaping technology that defines the next era of growth. Meet James Manika at the NDTV In.AI Summit, 18 February on the NDTV network in partnership with Startup Policy Forum.
Made in India क्यों नहीं? हमारे पास क्या है? Mustard oil. It is our flagship oil.
और हमें गर्व है कि 1933 से हम पी मार्क कच्ची घानी मस्टर्ड ऑयल का उत्पादन कर रहे हैं। इस मूल्यवान स्वदेशी प्रोडक्ट को बनाने में हमने खुद को समर्पित किया है पीढ़ियों से।
माँ भी हमेशा पी मार्क मस्टर्ड ऑयल में ही खाना बनाती थी।
कुछ तो बात है इस दिल में। P Mark, the mustard specialist since 1933.
लोग कहते हैं कि जिंदगी एक फिल्म की तरह होती है, लेकिन मेरी जिंदगी सिर्फ एक फिल्म नहीं, एक ब्लॉकबस्टर फिल्म है। बचपन से पता था मेरे सपनों में दम है, आगे नहीं सबसे आगे जाना है, स्टार नहीं सुपरस्टार बन के दिखाना है। नाम मिला, फेम मिला, प्यार मिला, I was not just running, I was flying। सबकी जुबां पे बस एक ही नाम, यो हनी सिंगर।
Justice for Sahil is NDTV's campaign, as we believe that justice should not be denied to the 23-year-old Delhi youth's family. A reckless underage teenager's act for reels on Instagram has claimed a real life, and now the family of that minor is busy giving bizarre defenses. Last night you heard the inconsolable mother of Sahil pleading for justice. Today you heard the father of the minor who was driving that Scorpio brazenly defending his son. The fight for justice remains.
मेरा बच्चा 50 फुट ऊपर हवा में उड़ के नीचे गिरा है। मैं अपने बच्चे के लिए क्या मांगूंगी? मेरा तो बच्चा ही नहीं बचा।
While one family's whole world has come crashing down,
मेरे पास सब कुछ खत्म हो गया। एक ही काम बचा है, मेरे बच्चे को जस्टिस दिलाना बस।
the other is giving bizarre statements.
अनजाने में दिया है, अनजान मतलब वो लेके गलत कर दिया, ये बहुत गलत है।
This is what the father of accused in the Delhi hit-and-run case had to say when asked about his son's sinful act. The case that has shaken the nation, outrage is growing over such insensitive and bizarre remarks. Instead of taking full accountability and responsibility, the father tried to justify the glaring lapses. He even cited his son's health as a reason behind the age discrepancy.
ये वहाँ के शोर शराबे में उसका हेल्दी शरीर देखने से पब्लिक द्वारा कोई कुछ बोल रहा था, कोई कुछ बोल रहा था। घटनास्थल का आप समस्या को समझ सकते हैं। मेरे नज़र में ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है। जो दस्तावेज है हमने जो पुलिस प्रशासन द्वारा दिया वो सत्य दिया, और जो जेन्युइन है वही दिया।
When asked about how a minor was allowed to drive, he simply said that he was not aware that his son could even drive. And what about the previous driving challans? The father blames the driver. Listen to this.
देखिए, मैं मौजूदा हालत घर में नहीं था, मैं बाहर था और बच्चा अनजाने में गलती कर दिया है। मेरे पास जो बिजनेस में वो गाड़ी इन्वॉल्व है, जो हमारे ड्राइवर ले जाते हैं, जो हमारे ट्रकों का काम है कमर्शियल व्हीकल का, उसमें हमारे ड्राइवर से चलान है, ना कि उस बच्चे से चलान है। कोई भी मेरे नज़र में नहीं था, मुझसे बहुत डरता था। अच्छा। मेरे नज़र में नहीं था।
Now mother of 23-year-old Sahil is begging for justice. Grieving, shattered but determined. She demands accountability from the family and from the system.
मैं जब से घर से लेके निकली मैंने उसको अकेले ही पाला है. I did a lot of work. I gave him the best I could.
But the family of accused has now only sorry to say.
मुझे बहुत अफसोस है, मैं बहुत दिल से गहरा बहुत अफसोस है। उस फैमिली के लिए भी मुझे बहुत बड़ा दुख व्यक्त मैं कर सकता हूँ। उस व्यक्ति के लिए भी मुझे बहुत दुख है।
A mother is fighting not just for justice for her son, but for a system that ensures such recklessness does not go unpunished. And NDTV stands with Sahil's family. Will justice prevail?
And joining me from outside the home of the accused underage teenager who was driving that Scorpio is my colleague Akhil Jamil, who has spoken to all of the people involved. Anushka Garg has been in touch with the Dwarka police who spoke to NDTV first. Bismi Taskin has been tracking all angles of the story and in fact put all of the elements of the story together for that big news break last night here on NDTV that has set the national media agenda. Akhil, what action is the police planning to take against the father? You've just had a conversation with him. He says he apologizes to the nation, but none of that makes any difference because Sahil Dhaneshra is dead. Nothing can bring him back. The police has decided to add the father to the charges as well. When is that going to happen? What charges does the father face? And where is that juvenile right now?
Well, Shiv, if you see right now, the juvenile is at his very residence. I was spoken to his father a few moments back and he has confirmed this to us that right now he's not in a condition to speak and he's very traumatized due to this very event. And right now, if you see, the investigation is currently underway. While I was speaking to the DCP of the Dwarka region, Mr. Ankit Singh, he has confirmed this to us that the accused father, the juvenile father, the minor's father is going to be charge sheeted in connection with the case because he was the one who was the responsible person in this case because the accused in this case is a minor. And if you see the kind of templated response we have got from the accused father, when I asked him that question, because if you see in this very case, what we have seen, Shiv, that there are 13 different challans, and out of those 13 challans, there are 9 challans which basically cut for the over speeding. Yeah. And out of those 9 challans, if you see, 1 challan has been cut for driving without license. So who that individual is? Because what we have seen that his father has been giving us statements and painting everything yes. with a single brush, saying that his son has got nothing to do. He has got no idea that since how long he has been driving his vehicle. So if you see, he is basically trying to avoid the media question on those fronts. So we basically categorically asked him this very question, that who that individual was when that challan of 500 was cut, when the individual was not basically having a driving license. Was it your son? But if you see, he has got no answers to it.
No, and all the the thing is, I just want to say that when you listen to a father and when he says that my son is in depression, the family is in gloom, you know, these are words that might melt some hearts. I am sorry, they do not melt my heart at all, because this father has blood on his hands, and I'm going to say that very, very clearly. I'm also a human, I'm also a father, and I know that if you are irresponsible in this way and you've caused someone else's death, then you have to face the music as well. What kind of action is the police planning to take now, Anushka? You've been in touch with them. The DCP in Dwarka spoke to us on my show a short while ago as well. It looks like only NDTV's news break, and the media attention is finally forcing some action now.
Well, that's right, Shiv. We have spoken to the DCP in this matter, and he has said that strict action will be in fact taken. We have seen that the juvenile had first said that he was 19 years old and the police was trying to try him for the crime on that particular age. But now, after the lawyers of the father, of the accused, in fact, came into play here, they had said that no, the victim is in fact a minor who is 17 years old. We had tried again and again to get answers from the father, but yet again, he had a lot of time to prepare and he had an excuse for every accusation that was pelted his way. He has said that he is deeply sorry about the incident and that he feels about the family and the pain that they are going through, and that whenever he was at home, his father was in fact not his father in fact used to make sure that the child did not take the car away. But now we are seeing that the police have said that they will be in fact taking action into this case. Right now, the accused in this case is out on interim bail so that he can give his board examinations that has started from today. But yes, this once again raises the question about what kind of actions are being taken in such reckless driving cases, and how, if the person is minor and if such cars are involved, then how come the people get bailed so easily? And also we have seen that in this case also the accused is right now outside on interim bail, and the police have confirmed that once the exams are over, he will once again be taken back and into the custody. Over to you.
Bismi visited the mother today, Inna Makan, and she had a conversation with her as well. Obviously inconsolable. I don't know how many interviews she's given today, Bismi, since our interview with her last night on NDTV. How is she doing? What are her expectations? You managed to spend some time in their household today, Bismi.
Yes, Shiv. The mother has been crying inconsolably, and not since just after, media channels reached her. She has been crying inconsolably since the 3rd of February, since she lost her son. The only demand that the mother has is an amendment in the Juvenile Justice Act. Because, Shiv, if you remember correctly, the 2016 Mercedes case where Shilpa Mittal had lost her brother, she had also approached the Supreme Court asking for changes in the Juvenile Justice Act in a similar hit-and-run accident, fatal accident crash. There have been numerous instances, such instances that we have seen over the years, where the juvenile, just because of the age, makes bail. Now, DCP Dwarka Ankit Singh had told us that the father of the juvenile will be prosecuted under Section 199A of the Motor Vehicles Act, which essentially implies that, as a guardian, you are being held liable in front of the law because your ward has taken the keys of a car that you own. However, this is nothing short of murder. This is nothing short of a case that should bring sections of culpable homicide not amounting to murder, abetting culpable homicide not amounting to murder. Shiv, over to you.
I promise our viewers that our gaze will not shift even for a moment from this story until justice is delivered to Sahil's family. Anushka, Akhil and Bismi are part of our fearless reporting team who has brought you this story live and has literally created visible impact on the ground, whether it is law enforcement, whether it is the judiciary, whether it is the system, and they will continue to do so fearlessly. So remember their faces. You're going to be seeing a lot more of these three reporters on the biggest story of the year so far. Thanks to the three of you for being with me here tonight on The Buck Stops Here. That's it on the show. If you have been, thanks for watching. See you at the same time tomorrow. The news continues on the other side with Vishnu Shom on Left, Right and Centre.
Made in India क्यों नहीं? हमारे पास क्या है? Mustard oil. It is our flagship oil.
और हमें गर्व है कि 1933 से हम पी मार्क कच्ची घानी मस्टर्ड ऑयल का उत्पादन कर रहे हैं। इस मूल्यवान स्वदेशी प्रोडक्ट को बनाने में हमने खुद को समर्पित किया है पीढ़ियों से।
माँ भी हमेशा पी मार्क मस्टर्ड ऑयल में ही खाना बनाती थी।
कुछ तो बात है इस दिल में। P Mark, the mustard specialist since 1933.
सरसों से सरसों। The front lines of Kargil. The fury of Operation Sindhu.
So many attacks.
The chaos and cries of disaster zones. To fighter jet cockpits. And the world's most defining interviews.
It's incredible.
He has seen history break. Live. Unfiltered. 20,000 hours of live broadcasting.
Welcome to Left, Right and Centre.
Hard fact. debates,
war-struck country,
hard questions,
in the Ukraine,
30 years of trust.
in the Kargil area, North Ukraine, in France, in Italy, at Srinagar, Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Vishnu Shom, only on NDTV. He is transforming AI from code into voice and from technology into experience. Meet Marty Staniszewski at the NDTV In.AI Summit, 18 February, on the NDTV network, in partnership with Startup Policy Forum.
Straight from the heart of the newsroom to the core of the stories shaping your world. Join me, Gargi Raut, as I track all the developments as they break. Live from the NDTV newsroom, weekdays at 4 p.m.
The sharpest minds driving the global AI narrative. Policymakers, founders, technology leaders. Global perspectives, Indian priorities. The definitive conversation on AI. 18th February, New Delhi. NDTV In.AI Summit 2026 on the NDTV network, in partnership with Startup Policy Forum.
Made in India क्यों नहीं? हमारे पास क्या है? Mustard oil. It is our flagship oil.
और हमें गर्व है कि 1933 से हम पी मार्क कच्ची घानी मस्टर्ड ऑयल का उत्पादन कर रहे हैं। इस मूल्यवान स्वदेशी प्रोडक्ट को बनाने में हमने खुद को समर्पित किया है पीढ़ियों से।
माँ भी हमेशा पी मार्क मस्टर्ड ऑयल में ही खाना बनाती थी।
कुछ तो बात है इस दिल में। P Mark, the mustard specialist since 1933.
Hello and welcome to Bharat Mandapam. It's the AI Impact Summit 2026. It's a huge moment for India, but I dare say, with artificial intelligence being of such critical importance around the world, it is perhaps time for all of us, wherever we are from, to look at AI, its prospects, its challenges, opportunities, and its dangers. Here in Delhi, there's going to be a Delhi declaration on AI soon. It's going to be about 3 sutras which tie on to 7 chakras, and each one has a vision which looks perhaps at the ethical distribution and use of AI, some of the challenges, opportunities, but ultimately it's about access and being equitable. We've got a wonderful panel with us, and I'd like to introduce them. To my right, Ivana Bartoletti, the Global Chief Privacy and AI Governance Officer at Wipro. Thanks very much, Ivana, for being with us. Alexandra Beck-Gjorv is CEO of Sintef, one of Europe's largest research institutes. And Dr. Sandra Song is Dean of the School of Art, Science and Tech at University Canada West. Thank you all very much for being with us. Ivana, let me come to you first. We stand at a cusp when the conversation on AI a year later might be very different from the conversation today. And that's because the technology is growing faster, and some suggest is becoming more dangerous. Is that your sense?
So I think it's going to be about capabilities of AI. And of course, AI changes rapidly, and the capabilities will become stronger and stronger, and AI will be able to do more and more. Yes, of course, there are risks, and we have seen over the recent years, alongside the amazing things, we have seen some of the risks materializing, from disinformation to others. But I think the real challenge, and one challenge that India really is relishing, is about institutional capacity to govern all the capabilities that AI is bringing.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And we'll talk about that in a moment. But Alexander, if I can just ask you, because it's been in the news all over the world, that AI and various systems, whether it's Anthropic, whether it's Grok, done by X, whether it's Chat GPT, going forward, these are replicating their capabilities every few months. And therefore, older iterations of the same technology is redundant. It's almost empathetic in its answers in cases. Is that a worry that the technology is growing faster than we know what to do with it?
Well, I think that's, of course, it is a worry. And that's why I think the Indian approach of strong institutions and governance and oversight is important. That's one of the reasons why I'm here. I'm very impressed with what I see. I just want to compliment India on this summit. And of course, both the skills of humans and the control of the AI is something that we're working hard on. And we're here also to find partners to work together with India because you're doing so much.
And Dr. Song, if we don't collaborate as a planet now, we're all going to be in trouble because we all had that horrible moment of COVID in the past, and that was bad news for us. And nobody really believed that something like that could ever happen to us. But AI is upon us. There are opportunities and there are dangers. Without regulation, are we in deep trouble?
You're going to need regulation, but also you need to ensure that this regulation helps to empower the people and to empower the communities. So that moment through COVID, we managed through our creativity, through our ways of looking at regulations to help guide us through that difficult moment. So this is an interesting juncture to have this conversation, global conversation in India. And hopefully what will happen is some shared learnings and a strengthening of the ecosystems too.
Alexander, one of the concerns is, of course, that there are companies and countries which will not share their technology when it comes to AI. It will not be equitable because it's not profitable to always be equitable. The technology is evolving so fast that some countries and companies want to retain their proprietary rights. So if we are talking about equitable access to AI, is it essentially a dream?
So I think a lot of countries are dealing with this question right now. They're saying, okay, we can't talk AI without talking. AI is not just about technology, AI is about geopolitics, AI is about supply chain, AI is about chips. So, of course, there are issues around the allocation of all these resources. I think it's important to understand that each country is different and we can play in a different way. So, for example, in India, you don't necessarily have to think about these large language models, but it's really about leveraging what you have. So it's about saying, well, we leverage the ability to scale up, we leverage the talent that you have. And we also work on applications, not just models, but applications that can help democratize AI by, for example, leveraging the local languages that you have. Like most of the systems that are in use now, they do not cater for what are the needs of different populations, different communities, working on use cases, specific use cases that can really benefit countries. So I think this is the challenge that we've got ahead, is how to make this equitable. And I think the fact that this summit is all democratizing AI, and it's not just about access, it's also about democratizing who designs these tools and who is actually able to have a say in how these tools are developed and then deployed.
I think Ivana made a very crucial point when she touched on supply chains and chips. Resilient supply chains is a problem. It's a problem for countries around the world, certainly over here. India and the United States, for example, are working towards a resilient supply of chips. So as we talk about AI, we can't but talk about the resilient supply of chips. And it's a basic question, where does it come from? If it's not easily available, what happens?
I think at least we are looking in Europe very much at our own supply chain, and even Sintef, where I had, are looking at strategic chips for critical social